morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm naturally Ray, or you could just call me Ray. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss when I upload future videos. So this is episode 2 of my fat loss journey. Last year I documented my weight loss journey where I lost 40 pounds in 4 months. However, my body fat percentage is still very high, so I decided to document this particular journey. I would link episode 1 in the description box, or somewhere up here I would link it for you all in case you all missed out on episode 1. I am actually really happy with the results for my second week, so I will show you all in a bit, so make sure you all tune in for that. But of course, I'm focusing on high protein meals, high fiber meals. I know I mentioned in episode 1 that I may have dialed in a little bit with my nutrition. Obviously, I'm trying to keep up with my steps, 8 to 10,000 steps a day, making sure I get a good enough amount of sleep every night, drinking my water, staying hydrated, doing all the good stuff. Obviously, staying away from all the junk foods and ultra processed foods, and doing minimally processed foods. Of course, I would have different treats here and there, but I try to follow the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the time I eat whole or minimally processed foods, and then 20% I have my treats. And because I'm really happy with how things are going for this week, well, it's only been a short while, but I'm really happy with how things are going. I think I'm gonna stick with intuitively eating, because I just did not want to pull out my food scale in the beginning of my weight loss journey. I obviously had to do it because I didn't know how much protein I was eating, fiber I was eating, all of that. But now I've gotten so accustomed with using my MyFitnessPal app in the past that the only thing that I really try to document for y'all is my protein, trying to get 100 to 120 grams of protein. Hold on. Yeah, so sorry about that. I was mentioning that I want to get between 100 to 120 grams of protein. Lately, I've been trying to get really close to 120 grams, especially since I am doing, at least being a little more consistent with my strength training and resistance training, because again, I really want to build muscle while I lose my fat. But anyway, so far I'm just trying to stick to eating intuitively like I've always been doing, and just look at my portion sizes. If for any reason during this journey I start to plateau, then I may consider being a little more meticulous. What did I say? Particular. I wanted to say particular and meticulous. Anyway, but yeah, so let's have breakfast. So this smoothie is part of my breakfast. You all know that I have yogurt bowls or yogurt parfaits every single day, but I decided to switch it up a bit. It's basically the same ingredients. I put some milk in it and just blend it up into a smoothie. I actually used to make smoothies a lot a couple of years ago, so I started making it a little more now. Absolutely love it. Let me get my straw. This is so good. I'm actually going to make some eggs, just maybe have some sourdough bread, some avocado. Also, I took this out of the fridge because I mentioned to you all that I have been a little more consistent with making my ginger turmeric and lime shot. I will link a video where I have a dedicated video where I make my shots. So I took this out of the fridge. I just have to stir it up because you know it's separate. So this is ginger, turmeric and lime. I usually have this before I drink anything, before I eat anything I should say. I already had water for the morning, so I'm gonna have some of this. Have my glass here. I'm making some eggs and with sourdough just to bump up my, hold on, sometimes this is the, let's take a look. The ginger. Anyway, I was saying I'm gonna do some eggs to bump up my protein. I think the smoothie might be a little more than 20 grams of protein, and I try to get at least 30, especially if I'm trying to hit close to 120. I need to at least get 30 grams of protein in my main meals. I don't know if I'm having any snacks today. I usually try not to snack too much, and if I do have a snack, it's something that at least have a little bit of protein in it to help me bump up my protein. So let me take another sip of this smoothie. It is so good. Absolutely love it. Y'all, if y'all see my nails looking kind of crazy, this is the first time I don't have on my press-on nails or acrylic nails for I think over a year. But I needed to give my nails a break. I don't know if y'all will see me with press-on nails for the third episode, but we'll see. But it's just very weird and it's so short. But anyway, let me make my eggs and I'll catch back up with y'all. So I have my smoothie here and my eggs and avocado and sourdough. So it's a very balanced breakfast. This might be about, I would say, okay, it have protein in the eggs, of course, and then a little bit in the kale. I usually put spinach in my eggs and with my salad, but the spinach in the grocery just was not looking good. So I have kale, also that have a little bit of protein, a little bit of protein from the feta cheese, a little bit of protein in the sourdough. I think in total breakfast might be around 40-45 grams, which is really good, so I'm happy about that. So I'm gonna have this and I'll catch up with you all for lunch. So this is dinner. I'm really excited to eat this. I actually made meatballs in a couple videos back and it was so good. I was like, okay, I definitely want to have it again today. So I'm gonna have this, and I'm actually gonna make something that I've never made before. It's not even really a recipe, but I'll show you. So after I make this, after I eat this, I'll come back and show you all what I'm gonna make. So lunch was really good and I actually had seconds. It was tasting so good, but now I'm really stuffed, so I kind of regret having the seconds. I should have just waited. Y'all, I know it might look a lot darker. It is raining outside and very gloomy, but anyways, but I am going to show y'all how I'm going to make some almond butter. Y'all know I used to always buy almond butter, but now they're selling it for like a what, 80, 90, $100 for a small container, and I stopped buying it a while back, and I always said I'll make my own, but I'm making it today. Oh wait, before I make that, let me show you my results here. So I am 30% body fat, which is still very high, but I am really happy with the results because it only has been a short while and I'm definitely seeing a decrease in my body fat. Obviously, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, eating intuitively, making sure I keep my protein really high, my fiber really high. Yes, I'm in a little bit of a calorie deficit, but like I always mention to you all, you do not have to starve yourself. As a matter of fact, if you're not feeding your body well, you're feeding your body with the nutrients it needs, making sure that you're eating the right amount of foods, your probiotics, your prebiotics, making sure you have good gut health for your microbiome, all of that good stuff, you wouldn't really get great results. So anyway, so I am really happy with my results. Now I am trying to see if I can get close to about 25% for my body fat, maybe a little lower, just depending on my physique, how I look as I build muscle, and especially how I feel as well, but we'll see how it goes. Like I mentioned, I think in episode 1, I'm gonna try and do this for roughly 8 to 12 weeks, maybe closer to 12 weeks, because I know once I start getting closer to like the 25%, 24%, it will be a little harder to start losing the body fat, but I'm really happy with my progress. So hopefully, well, I know once I decide do what I need to do for this week, when I upload episode 3, I will be officially in my 20-something%. I've been 20-something% before I put on all this weight in 2020, but I didn't really know. Well, let me say I didn't really know. I was always smaller, so I am assuming that my body fat percentage was a little lower, but I think I got my scale like I think in 2021. But there was a point in time when I did lose weight from before. I'll put up a picture here, but my body fat percentage was like in the 20s, I think like 28, 29, which is still very high, but I'm aiming to build muscle, lose body fat. But anyway, the point is I'm happy with how things are going. I actually looked online for the recipe, and there are so many variations and options just based on what it is you want to do and how you would like to do your almond butter or peanut butter, whatever you want to do. So this is the almonds. I roasted it because a lot of the recipes online did mention that when you roast it, you bring out some of the natural oil. So I just decided to do it, and this is 3 cups of almonds, and I'm gonna use maybe just about 2 tablespoons of oil when I put it in the blender. Some people don't use any oil, some people put a little oil to make it a little more creamy, some people add a little honey. I don't think I'm gonna add the honey. I'm just gonna add just 2 tablespoons of oil just to see what the consistency is like, taste it, maybe just put like a little bit of salt just for flavoring, and yeah, so let's just see how this comes out. So this is the almond butter, and it's actually kind of hot because it just came out the blender. Now the recipes that I saw, it did say for every cup of nuts, well, I checked for almonds, put 1 tablespoon of oil, and I use avocado oil. Now I really didn't want to use like 3 tablespoons, but when I saw it in the blender and it wasn't really getting creamy, I was like, okay, I definitely need to add some more. So I actually added maybe about 3.5, definitely not 4, and y'all, it came out so creamy. And this is literally twice the amount that I would get if I buy one of those containers for like almost $100. And I'm so glad I did not add honey, because when I tasted it, it did not need a honey. Oh my gosh, y'all, this tastes so good. Now what I would say, it is smooth. Y'all saw the consistency when I poured it out, but there's like little, like very fine grains. It's not as though it's like a crunch, but it's something that I wouldn't mind at all, because I actually like peanut butter or almond butter that is smooth, or whether it have a crunch or not. So this is going to be perfect. Now I have to be very careful, because even though like things like avocado and almonds have healthy fats, they are very nutrient dense, so I cannot eat a lot of it. I have to be very careful with this. I am so happy that I had this container, because I wasn't even really sure if I was gonna make the almond butter today, and I was like digging through my cupboards, and I was like, okay, I actually saw this in the cupboard. I was like, thank the Lord. Because I was actually contemplating the same pasta sauce that I used today. I was like, okay, maybe I have to rinse out a container, but thankfully I don't have to. So I actually had this pasta sauce in the cupboard from before. So I am happy. Okay, let me put it down, because it's kind of, well, it's not hot, it's like warm now. So I'm really excited. I am still very stuffed. So when it's dinner time, I might have something very light for dinner, like maybe like a chicken, because I have the chicken that I season, and I'll do maybe, I guess, sweet potatoes and maybe like a salad. But yeah, but so far in terms of my protein, I think we're doing really well for the day, so I'm really happy about that. And it's still a little gloomy. I wish it like brighten up a little bit, but anyway, I will catch back up with you all for dinner later.